Radio. Kicking off a new year and returning to Sunday night at his old time slot, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Join host Tim Manley as he brings you the most recognizable names in the paranormal field on Fox Cities Paranormal Radio, starting Sunday, January 7th, 2018. The cult of personality. Paranormal and dark tourism, Halloween, and horror. Does this sound like a show for you? If it's haunted, scary, macabre, and unusual, then Haunt Jaunts is where it's at. Each week, special guests will be joining the host and ambassador of dark and paranormal tourism, Courtney Maroc, to help guide you to your next adventure. So turn up your speakers and settle in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for Haunt Jaunts on Paramania Radio. Come jaunt with us if you dare. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Paramania, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
You are listening to Paramania Radio.
You're listening to the Parasearch UK radio show with your hosts Kerry Greenaway and Jay Lynch, right here on Paramania Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Parasearch UK radio show. I am the man that's not in charge. You know it. I have no control of the situation, and I'm enjoying the shit out of that. We're actually going to have a good night tonight. I don't know what topic we'll get into, but we're having a good time. We're joined with, of course, my co-host from across the pond, Miss Kerry Greenaway. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Good evening.
Oh, my God. Are you ready for this?
No, I've been dreading this all week.
We are going to continue with our paranormal roundtable. It seems like it's really going over well. We're having great discussions on a wide variety of topics. We're also being joined tonight by Dr. Dave in the studio. Hi, Dr. Dave. How are you?
Oh, hello. Hey. Wasn't sure. I didn't know I was on.
Yes, sir.
They don't tell me. They just think because I'm producing that I'm on, I guess. I don't know.
No, I like throwing you to the wolves.
Okay.
I like putting you on the spot, man.
But I love you too, Jay.
And of course, as everybody calls her, my better half, Teresa's joining us tonight.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Look at her sound all sunshine and rosy. She's had a shit day. And, well, she is married to me, so there you go. We'll just leave it at that. And of course,
cautiously with wine, food, or chocolate.
Absolutely. What about all three?
Okay, that's even better.
Cool. And of course, we're also being joined by our friend from Parasearch Radio, Mr. Mark Manley from the other side of the pond over there with Kerry. How are you tonight, Mark?
Had enough of Skype, but apart from that, I'm absolutely fine, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I actually can hear you better now than what I've heard you all evening. And you know, in the picture I'm getting on the computer, it looks like the way you're setting it looks like Kilroy was here. All I can see is your nose up.
Oh my God, poor Mark. Poor Mark. That's all I can say.
Kerry, I've got one thing to say to you.
What's that, baby?
Aliens did it!
Oh, God. Even on this show, you do it to me.
If you didn't, I was going to.
Oh, my God. This is kind of how the show's going to go. My co-host on the Friday night show that we do on Parasearch is a little bit crazy. And every week I try and pick a topic where he can't link it to aliens in some way. And every single week he finds a link somewhere to aliens and then shouts aliens at me. And he finds it most amusing. And I have picked a wide variety of topics for him to try and foil him, but it doesn't work.
We're going to do a little role reversal tonight then, because Mark's the guest on our show. He gets to pick the first topic.
He does.
And he has a little Ewok with him, which is aliens.
That's Chewie, funny enough, and yeah, Star Wars. Chewie. Yeah, Chewie. Oh, God.
He's got the puppy, everybody, just so everybody knows what's going on. He's actually got this cutest little puppy it's going, but it is... So if you hear strange noises, it's generally this puppy.
Or it could be Mark.
Well,
Yeah,
either or, isn't it?
Could you please take your plug?
Thank you, Max. It said we shall not gang up on the lovely Kerry. Thank you, Max.
Yes, we shall.
We shan't.
No.
Kerry, like I said, Mark's our guest. Everybody, the rest of us have been in this situation for the last couple of weeks. It's been a great time. But Mark, is there any topic that you actually want to start out with discussing about the paranormal? And that means everything. I take the umbrella of paranormal to include everything. Ghosts, ghouls, goblins, haints, boogers, spooks, aliens. Aliens! Cryptozoology. I mean, it's completely open to your interpretation tonight.
There's a couple of things I would like to talk about. Yes, there is going to be the aliens thing, but that's just, neither here nor there. But the Bigfoot, because I know you look like the Bigfoot stuff, so do I. Yeah, what's your theories on it?
My theories? You want to start out with me?
Well, I mean, my personal theory, you can tell me I'm talking absolute nonsense if you like, or words to that effect. I've always said that, when we had, was it Gigantopithecus? The huge, big, hairy redhead, a bit like me. A bit like you as well. When Pangea. When we had Pangea?
Yeah. Where are we going with this?
Eh?
Go ahead.
You'll find out. Hang on. I've always thought that when we had Pangea and it was one huge continent and those apes were around then, why could they not have gone to all the different parts of that before it split up? And then after it split up, that's why you've got all the different reports of them, like the Yowie and the Bhutan ones and the Himalayan ones and the Bigfoots and the skunk apes and all that stuff. That would explain why they're all over the world.
Oh, that's a good theory. But a lot of people think that Bigfoot and the Yeti are two completely different creatures. They're not related.
Really?
That's a popular theory.
That's a popular theory.
Kind of like humans and Neanderthals, supposedly separate species, and one died out and one flourished.
The Neanderthals didn't die out. You never saw my ex-in-laws.
I don't know what to say to that, but I'm going to be nice.
You better.
Why? My in-laws are great. Well,
So
except for your stepmom. Except for your stepmom.
I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
But no,
involved in that.
Now, see, with Bigfoot and almost a lot of the cryptids and stuff, I've actually been part of the North American Dogman Project, which is no longer just North America. We got some places that's giving us information from New Zealand and England and Russia, and it's coming in from all over the place on it and stuff. But my thing is are they actual physical species, or are they something different? And I think they actually are. I think, though, I got a lot of people pissed at me when I was doing the cryptid research and stuff, and still am. I'm just not as active right now, with saying that they might be along the lines of elementals. And that got a lot of them mad.
How do you explain the so-called boom that you hear?
Do what, Mark?
I suppose it could be like Guardians of the Forest. That's plausible.
Right. Why can't Bigfoot be the Dogman, be the Bigfoot of the guardian of the forest, and Bigfoot be the caretaker of the forest? And each one of these species have their own portion to play in the thing. They thought I was making light of it, try to make it into like, oh, next thing I say there's little fairies and all this other stuff. Well, with my culture being Celtic, yeah, there is. We have a lot of those beliefs. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got Orang Pendek and you got all these other ones that were found, and the hobbits on, I can't remember which island it was, and it's been proved that there was loads more different types of hominids than previously thought, so I don't see why not. One of the strangest theories that I've ever heard about Bigfoot and Yetis and this, that, and the other, and it is one that I did kind of swear at, was aliens put them here on this. Oh, hang on, no, I'll rephrase that. Aliens put them here. Put them here on this planet because our planet is a prison planet, and those things, the aliens put them on here because they're prisoners. That's one of the weird ones I've heard.
Dave, you got anything on that?
This is well outside my territory of realm of
don't believe it.
When I think big feet, I think, my stepson has size 15 shoes. I don't think about Bigfoot and any of the cryptids or anything. I don't go that far.
Well, see, there comes a point. So ghosts are cool and could be, but you have no opinion very on cryptids.
Well, I'm highly skeptical of even ghosts. So, it's all, I'm skeptical of everything. In fact, I would argue more that this entire reality we think we exist in doesn't exist. And that you all are a figment of my imagination.
Dude, if I'm in your imagination, you got issues.
You can understand why I'm keeping quiet on this one, everybody. I'm just putting that out there. I'm keeping dead quiet on this.
So basically,
now you understand my problem, Jay.
Have you ever thought that maybe, the show like Horton Hears a Who, where there's a whole colony on that little flower?
Well, look at the ending of the movie Men in Black.
Right. That too. That's a better example rather than Horton Hears a Who.
What?
How's about if we are in actual fact on a simulator and we are like the Sims? If that's real, then for God's sake, don't let Jay Lynch have the naked cheat. All right.
Then all I'm saying is I want to have words with who's running my life on that sim, because I'm really not impressed at this moment in time. So they need to sort that crap out.
So that's like in the chat room. Max said he thinks that I'm an alien. Thank you, and I probably am, Max. It explains my insanity. Richard said there's a lot of research as regards to the Yeti, and scientists seem to believe it may be a hybrid polar bear.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've heard that one. It's like, but they did find some hair, didn't they? And Josh Gates found some hair as well, and it's been associated with known species at the moment. But that bear one, if I remember right, they traced DNA back to an extinct form cave bear, was it? Cross with the extinct form of cave bear and a polar bear. So either the bears aren't fussy around there, or it's something else.
Bears aren't fussy.
If they're female, they're fussy.
Maybe they don't get a choice.
Richard said, of all the places on Earth I feel there may be relic of humanoids is the Indonesian archipelagos. And that would be someplace I would think they would find something more like that. Then again, we're finding new species down in South America at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
She's still chuckling. Can you hear her?
Who? Me?
Okay, your voice is on loop. We can usually keep it up.
Oh my! I need to sort your tech out. I'm looping, apparently. That's because my sim person has got me looping.
Oh dear, it's Jay, isn't it? He's trying to put the naked cheat in.
I'll try anything I can get. Trust me. But it's. I don't see why along the lines getting back to semi-serious of a conversation. Unless we go into the topic we went with last week.
It's really funny when Jay's the one that's serious.
No.
I keep trying.
Scary.
I keep trying. I really do. I keep trying to be semi-serious. But it's...
You look like me, mate, so you can't be.
My whole point on the Yeti thing, going back to the Yeti Bigfoot thing, is if there was something, there's so many people that go out looking for them, there'd be some form of evidence by now rather than just being a footprint. I just think there'd be more evidence than rock knocking.
I disagree.
I think
Do you?
more footprints.
I disagree.
You'd
think
find
that,
stalls or something, wouldn't you? You'd find something more than just. It's a little bit like the paranormal, isn't it? Where you go out searching and very, very rarely find anything that could be linked to it. But if they're there and they have this interaction with humans, surely we would have had more. If they're real, we would have had more evidence by now.
I disagree.
But like with the finding of their scat, how do they not know what?
Do you know
it's
how
from?
hard it is to actually prove where scat came from? Because it
That's
has
what I'm saying.
it has the DNA of everything that's in the digestive system, plus anything that's fallen on the ground and come in contact with.
It's not so much about the DNA though, but it'll be distinctly different because every species has its own particular looking. Oh God, I can't believe we're talking about poo. Scat, wouldn't they? you know what a deer looks like. You know what a rabbit looks like. You know what a fox is like. You know what a badger is like.
They also would have unique bacteria that would be identifiable to the creature as well in the output fecal matter because what's in the contents of their stomach.
Right.
If it's called scat, and what on earth was that record all about that was brought out in the 90s called I'm a Scat Man?
Oh my God.
Just point it out.
I bet everyone's feeling really sorry for me now for my Friday show, aren't you?
Those
who haven't listened. No, he's very funny. He comes up with very random things.
Oh yeah, you're listening tomorrow. Hear it tomorrow. Can't remember what our show's about tomorrow, but it's going to be the usual gone completely off the wires thing.
I'll be listening because I'm off work for the next 5 days.
Here he comes, rubbing it in.
I'm in work all weekend, 2 12-hour shifts.
No, right. I'm not working for the next 5 days. I'm working 1 day, then I'm taking 13 more days off.
I'm going to wake his butt up when I get up in the morning to go to work.
I wonder what that hand gesture means, Mark.
Very British, that's what it means.
Are you number
there
one?
is another theory.
Twice over.
There is another theory about it that I quite like. But have you ever read any of the Terry Pratchett books?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Wait a minute. Did you say
I'm not going to go ook or anything like that. I'm on about his other books that he did about being able to slide between dimensions.
That's kind of like what Max just said in the chat room. He says, I think these cryptids are related in another dimension, and that one steps into our dimension from time to time.
In those books, there are characters that are described as looking like Yetis or Bigfoot, and they can naturally slide between the dimensions.
We have somebody here that I absolutely love to listen to talk, John Tenney.
Yeah, he's phenomenal to listen to.
He is amazing. But he held an entire audience captive big time.
Talking about Bigfoot.
And he said he was talking about the different dimensions because apparently a lot of times just before
or just after a sighting,
you hear this loud boom.
Crackling and then like electrical static boom, crackling and then a boom. And they think that that's actually the Bigfoot traveling between dimensions.
Well, that would make a lot of sense, and that would explain a heck of a lot of things.
But if that interpretation is true, you got to remember that these people, if they have experienced it, when they have seen one, they've actually probably just about, I don't know, shit their drawers and being scared, and your memory is never accurate as what really happened.
Well, I don't know, if you're down in the deep south where they know the bayou and the backwoods and everything, and you can hear the banjos are twanging, I suppose they're not really going to make it up because they haven't really got any need to make it up.
Well, yeah, they do, because that gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of people in here, and they're wanting to go hunting and take you out. Now, can you take me to where you saw it? Well, yeah, for $5, $10, $50, and that's $1,000, and it's keep raising the price. Yeah. There is a reason for that.
Well, we're supposed to have them over here in Scotland, and they're called the Hairy Men of Scotland. But quite frankly, I just think that's a load of pissheads up in Glasgow on a weekend. But you know.
And now you see why they call him my brother from the other mother.
Oh dear.
Bloody hell! There's two of them.
Oh my god. Yeah, there is. There is, and funnily enough, they even look similar.
There's been a disturbance in the force.
No, we don't. I grew hair back. I got a beard and a full head of hair. He ain't got shit.
Well, he's got it the opposite way around, a bald head and.
I shave my head. I've got a tiny goatee, but I can't have it too long because I look like an idiot. That's why it's only short.
Oh, trust me, it's not the goatee.
I kept my tongue on that one. No, bless. Anyway, in all seriousness, this isn't the only cryptoid that's around, though, is there? There's plenty of other cryptoids that we're still talking about and people are experiencing.
Oh, yeah. We just had it here in the United States back during the summer. Well, Dogman, I already mentioned that, but back during the summer, that lady died, fell off the train track. Was that last year? Down there in Louisville by Waverly Hills, they was looking for the goat man. It goes across a train bridge, and a train came, and she couldn't go quick enough and fell and hit her head and died. Looking for half human, half goat creature down there.
Half human, half goat. They got them down in Somerset. That's just not what they do at the weekends.
Daddy. You my daddy.
It's the weekend leisure centre in deepest, darkest Somerset, Devon, Cornwall, Dorset.
Oh,
So,
see, now you're in trouble.
why? I lived in Somerset for 20 years. I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, that's down Dave's turf, down there, Louisville area and stuff.
Have you seen the Goat Man, Dave?
I am the Goat Man.
That's what we thought.
That's a nickname no one wants to ever pick up.
Nope.
Right?
Max has a question in the chat room. If we were to kill one of these creatures while they are in our dimension, could we start an interdimensional war?
Oh,
God, could you imagine that?
wouldn't that be awesome?
We have no idea. Well, awesome. We have no idea how to cross it interdimensional. So if we started that kind of war by doing that, we are like completely knackered, aren't we? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I can't personally see Jay shooting any Yeti or anything like that. Anyway.
Oh, hell no.
He may probably fart at them knowing him, but that's probably about it. But to be fair, that might start an interdimensional war because they might just get totally offended by that. But apart from that,
I would think so.
Yeah, but get over it. I'll buy him a beer.
I just buy them a beer. It's it's so hard, isn't it, to know, really? I mean, all the photographs and that I've seen, all the photographs and that I've seen have just been pareidolia, in my opinion. You know, look at this, I've caught this photo of a Yeti, or I caught this of that. Or, you know, one thing that is quite intriguing, I suppose, is the rock rapping that can go on in response to somebody who's trying to encourage that. But that can be a bird. You know, there are birds that do that.
In the woods with a baseball bat smacking a tree at midnight.
But see, that is such, and I'm sorry for everybody likes cryptids and stuff. To me, that stuff is such horse shit. They cannot prove those things no more than we can prove anything about a ghost. Can't do it. They cannot prove that that's the sound of a Bigfoot. But they got everybody convinced that it is. Everybody's out there buying little miniature Louisville sluggers, going out there beating on trees like dumbasses.
Your thoughts on that, Jay?
I need to learn how to let myself out, don't I? I got to quit holding back so much.
I've always said, and in every show we've done, when we talked about myths and legends and things like that, and including cryptids and stuff, there has to be something there in the first place to start off any myth, legend, or story. And I don't mean somebody who's been sucking on far too much of Grandpa's hooch and going, you know what? I thought. No, I mean, there has to be something from dating back, you know?
Oh, I think that everything's got a grain of truth to it somewhere. It's finding that actual grain of truth that's left. It's been so plagiarized and retold, and it's like playing telephone or grapevine. You know, I tell one person this, sometimes it goes around the room and doesn't come back anywhere near what it started out as. So there is a grain of truth in there. What is that grain of truth? How do you get to that grain? Once you get to that, then you have something to build off of.
It was just a guy that hated to get his hair cut and didn't like to bathe.
What about that
Yeah,
case
it could be. It could just be a wild, like a guy who is a large,
like my uncle,
you know, like a big man who lives wild. Do you know what I mean? And he's hairy, and you know, lives in the forest and wants to live that life. You know,
Dave. What, Mark?
Yeah, it's all right. They're talking about you, mate. We need to get back on topic and start talking about.
Wait a minute. You and I are trying to be the serious one. What the hell's wrong with this freaking night?
I have no idea, mate. What about that case of that guy who reckoned that he was held captive by a family? There was a mum, a dad, and a daughter, and they kept feeding him and stuff, and he lived with them for a while. I mean, do you reckon personally he'd been in the woods smoking his
weed? He's smoking some of that pretty green weed that grows around the shack.
He's smoking rabbit weed.
Yeah, probably so. But it's like, well, Kerry said, you know, we would have seen one by now. I kept saying I disagree because I think, like, if everybody remembers the movie Harry and the Hendersons, at the very end of the movie, they let Harry lose a woman and two children stand right up in the plain view. A proper ghillie suit, anybody properly trained in the woods and stuff, I can move around the woods with the right equipment and stuff, and you'd never know I was there. You'd never find me if I didn't want to be found.
That's true.
Yeah, the problem with Harry and the Hendersons is if it was a real and not fictional, it would have ended with them shooting him just like they did Old Yeller. Because that's what people are going out there to hunt these things. They want to hunt them and kill them and have it as a trophy.
Well, see, That's where I get in so much trouble when I do the Dogman events and stuff, and I go out with research and we get a reported sighting and everything. We go to it. I don't carry anything more than a pocket knife or my machete to get through some of the places in the woods. I don't. Some of them got pistols and everything else. I don't carry anything like that with me. I don't have the intent to go out there to kill this creature. I want to observe it.
Well,
I want to learn.
Also, more likelihood, especially if the creature is 7 foot tall or bigger and large and muscular, that a bullet may injure it, but it's probably not going to. It's not going to hurt it enough that it's not going to be able to rip your arms off first. If it's that big.
It's like one did to me. Just look. This is what happened to me when I went to Scotland. Never time to take a can of cider off a drunk Glaswegian, I'm telling you.
So but that's like one of the guys over the dog boys and stuff was telling us. One of the reports is that a dog man was shot multiple times at like a close range of 20 to 30 yards with an AR-15, emptied a clip on it, and it never even penetrated the skin. I'm like, so why are you guys packing guns for? If AR-15 can't kill it, what are you going to do? What are you really going to do? Piss it off more? It's already mass. Now you're going to...
Pretty much.
Stories like that do make me think that the interdimensional thing might actually have a grain of truth in it, because if nothing like that's affecting it, then either, my God, they got a hell of a skin complexion, or there's something going on.
Well, and that would also explain as to why we do not find remains. We don't see any carcasses.
But until we as human beings started marking our graves, you wouldn't have found remains of us either. When we buried them, when we burnt the bodies up, you wouldn't have found remains. It was gone. And then we started putting markers on them and putting them in certain areas, so you know where to find the remains at now.
Yeah, but you would have people like now we're digging. You dig in your yard and you find a leg bone or something. Everything we would be digging something up by now.
Not necessarily.
I think so. But then, having said that, Max has said he lives in the Appalachian. Thank you very much. He lives in the mountains and he hears things out yonder into mountain, but I cannot usually see what it is. And it must be unusual, because surely if you live there, you kind of know the sounds of the forest. So if he's hearing something unusual that he wouldn't necessarily recognise, then maybe something is out there. I don't know.
It's like David G said, that had anyone ever heard of the Dogman 20 plus years ago? Yes, they have, Dave. In fact, one of the legends about Dogman, actually some of the first ones came from Native American Indian lore here in the United States. One of the legends about covered bridges, the reason why they started building covered bridges was because people were vulnerable to attack by Dogmen and Bigfoot in the settling of this country. And the covered bridge gave them at least some kind of cover to cross the openness of the water. But then they started learning how to hide underneath the bridge and attack from that way also. That's just legends.
That the legend of the troll from then?
Yeah. Exactly. Why wouldn't that come into
Richard Felix then?
Yeah.
So that's just some of the... But that's just some of the legends about the Dogman and Bigfoot here.
Sorry, I said the Alpaca Mountains, didn't I?
Yeah, I was loving you trying to say Appalachian. That was hysterical.
Sorry, I'm back on the Appalachian. Oh, my God. I'm back on that. Sorry, carry on.
No, I love
it. A lot with the Native American legends. I mean, you look at the legend of the Thunderbirds, and then, if I care to remember, there was a couple of photographs, very old photographs of so-called Civil War guys with a pterodactyl, weren't there?
Actually, I've read an article on, and I know this is way out there, right? But I have read an article about sightings of pterodactyl. I can't even say that word again. Oh my God. Pterodactyls. Yeah. I have read articles of recent sightings of pterodactyls. So, yeah, I'm not saying they're real. I'm not saying it could well have been a complete made-up story. I don't know. But it was in one of the magazines that I read. And I was like, really? No, I know, Dave. See, yeah, fake. It was that photograph might have been fake. But there was other cases and other sightings of people seeing alleged pterodactyls. I don't know. Are they all crazy? Possibly. But maybe there was a time slip.
Or, seeing as...
shut everybody up.
There's new species being found every single day. Why I still think there's loads of places there's species out there we just haven't seen for a long, long, long time because we've lost the places, Or
well, and with her talking about pterodactyls, there's actually been sightings in Kentucky and Ohio not too long ago.
What do you make of the Civil War photos?
I'd have to actually look at them.
Sorry,
what about then chupacabra? The chupacabra. Let's move along from pterodactyls.
Well, David G just asked in the chat room. He said that how does a dog man work? Dog and human DNA does it not mix? The problem with it is that they're not human. They have no human part to them. Basically, the understanding of a dog man is like a werewolf, except for being a lycanthrope or a werewolf, you change with the phases of the sun. A dog man is exactly what it is all the time. And it can be seen on 4 legs, walk around like a dog, and it can also stand up on 2 legs. So they don't change with the phases of the sun. They're not a lycanthrope or a werewolf. They're a dog man.
To the moon.
Yeah, moon. My bad. See?
Do they cut their legs like dogs?
I did when I was wearing that big old Scooby-Doo suit. You'll see the picture of it?
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, we did a show. We did a show on Scooby-Doo on Parasearch on a Friday. I bullied them into it. That was a really good show, I have to say. Go back and listen to it, everybody.
Pterodactyl sighting in England in September of this year.
Do what?
There was a pterodactyl sighting in England this year in September.
See?
In Shropshire.
Shropshire?
I have one word for you. CERN.
Okay, CERN plus aliens equals pterodactyl.
CERN, aliens, Bigfoot, all of them can be explained because someone's screwing with our timeline.
Possibly, you never know.
Collider's just done it. It's actually a portal, and they're letting people in, giving them passports, saying, try not to frighten the natives. If they see you, just press this button, it'll bring you back here. All right?
There you go.
I want to work there. I think I should have the job there.
I'm not sure they'd hire you.
They would. They'd hire me for my looks, charm, and British accent. I'd like to have.
It's like David G just said. Just because some nut says they've seen something doesn't mean it's real, which is absolutely true. But that goes with everything that we're doing. Everything with the paranormal, somebody thinks it's just some nut hallucinating or making things up. So that's the good thing about this thing. There is no evidence to prove any of it, but there's enough compelling evidence to put up the possibility of it being.
Well, if there's like the chupacabra, like Kerry was wanting to bring up, they have one supposedly captured by a Texas couple and one supposedly captured by hospital staff in Maryland. But what makes you really think, hey, this is really BS, is that it's the HuffPost and the Weekly World News. It didn't make it to national headline like it should be.
Trash mags.
Right. Or as Men in Black said it, the hot sheets.
One of the articles I read about the chupacabra was they had discovered a new species that they thought was the chupacabra, and it could open its mouth really, really big, like my ex and everything like that. And they said that when they took some of the hair samples from it, and it was filmed from the front of a sheriff's car, they followed this thing, and the hair samples were tested. It turned out it was a really, really odd crossbreed between a coyote and a Mexican grey wolf. Was it Mexican?
Yes, they do exist. Yeah.
And there was lots of people saying that they were chupacabras.
Well, there was one that was a chupacabra that was killed, and they kind of find out it was a small black bear that had mange.
Yeah.
And it was all nasty looking and stuff. And everybody swore it was a chupacabra, and it was actually just a bear.
I've seen the one about that sun bear, poor thing, that had no fur on it, and everybody was going, "Oh my God, it's an alien!" No, it was just a bear.
Aliens!
Oh God, that went right down my eardrum.
Yeah.
It's bad enough on a Friday. Okay. So can we move it away from cryptozoology, because I think we're losing that argument slowly but surely.
You can't win it, but you can't lose it either.
All right, one thing, Mothman. Yes or no?
No.
Anything's possible.
Oh, God. See, I need to broaden my horizons, clearly.
You know how to catch Mothman, don't you?
turn on a big damn light and fly to it.
Exactly. Get a good big spotlight, put it out the front, just sit there and wait, and you'll just hear smack as it flies into it.
Well, if I understand the Mothman thing, you got to kill a bunch of people, and then he'll show up right before it happens.
Cool.
So
can we line them up? I've got like a list of people. So can we line them up?
Okay, so we'll start with all of Kerry's exes.
Right? No, I know. Not necessarily.
Maybe one or two of them, though, eh, Kerry?
Oh, a couple of them, yeah, but not,
Would the Mothman be something along the lines of, with Celtic lore, being something along the lines of the Banshee there? Because every time somebody hears or sees it, people die.
Right.
Is it a harbinger of death?
And it's weird. I mean, I know that made national news. The Mothman did. That made big news. But my dad actually remembers when the bridge collapsed and everything.
Well, your dad is old.
I know. I'm saying he does remember when that happened, and he remembers everybody talking about the sighting at the time too.
See, my dad would have dismissed this bullshit. If Dad could see it, feel it, taste it, fight it, or it didn't exist.
Strange, I have to say, but I do wonder if these are just elementals people are seeing and not recognising what they are. A little bit like in the UK, we have a lot of fairy. And we're not talking about little fairies with wings. We're talking, when you look into the fairy lore, it's a lot more in depth than the little fairies with wings that is popularised nowadays in gift shops everywhere. But, when you start looking deeper into the folklore behind these things, it does make me wonder if people are actually seeing elementals and not just putting names on them, and they're appearing in ways that seem natural to them, but aren't natural to us. So they're different. So we have to put a name on them, like Mothman, Dogman, whatever. What does that? Does that mean something different to you guys?
Yes, it does. Fairies over in America is the same as fag.
Oh no, fairies in the UK. I will clarify this.
I thought fag was a cigarette.
A fag is a cigarette.
Fags over here are cigarettes, yeah.
See, y'all confusing the hell out of me with this damn international bullshit.
Okay, I'm just going to clarify what a fairy is. In folklore in the UK, it is basically an interdimensional or other realmed being that is, able to interact with.
Yeah, girlfriend, I know what a fairy is.
Jay.
So it's not what you guys over
I'm going to get so
That's bad. That's very naughty.
Oh, let's not do a show on politically correctness, because I will get my ass in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
What I was going to say is it's to do with fairies and this, that, and the other, and the fairy realm and little people and this, that, and the other. Now, my father, from Southern Ireland, whole family's from Southern Ireland, so hence why the red hair. And my daughter's got masses of red hair and everything now. He swore. I mean, this guy, he was ex-SAS. Extremely intelligent, could shoot the wings off a fly at Christ knows what pace. He believed in leprechauns, and he swore blind he'd seen them. So, hey ho. And that's my father. And I always thought he was genuinely just being stupid and taking the mick. No, he genuinely.
My mom saw one.
Yeah, he swore blind that there were leprechauns. They used to help the farm if you were nice to them.
I have those thought was anybody who's under 5 foot tall of Irish descent.
Have you heard this joker? He's ruining your Irish heritage here. Sorry.
Mine too.
Irish heritage.
Well, when we looked at the Tuatha De Danann, which is a very Celtic Irish legend, it was an incredibly fascinating research topic, because that is basically where fairy realm in the West Country and the Irish come from, really, isn't it? And that was absolutely fascinating, looking into that side of things. And then you have things like the disappearing islands and all that sort of thing that goes on around the European side of things more than further afield. But we look into so many different topics, and sometimes it's very hard to balance between what Mark's into, which is very different from what I'm into, and get that balance that's right, isn't it, Mark? Because you love the ufology side of things as well.
To be honest, I like pretty much every aspect of the paranormal. I'm open-minded about all of it. I'm not going to say one thing is real and another thing's not. I can pretty much say that with most things, there's got to be something there. But I love all of it. Yeah, I love the UFO stuff. I do like that a lot, and I also love my cryptozoology stuff. And one day, as we keep saying, we are going to go over to the US. You're coming as well, Kerry Greenaway. We're going to hire an RV, and we are going to do a trip down the Paranormal Highway. And hopefully, Jay Teresa will come with us.
Absolutely.
I'm in. I don't care if Teresa comes or not. I'm going.
Hey.
What?
You know what? I think that is a fantastic idea. A Winnebago, all of us in there, do it our way and put a show out there. Not as in a radio show. We'll put our own TV show out there. And I think that is a network needs to pick this up because it would be hysterical and real
go
and
down the
incredible.
Appalachian Mountains?
We're going to go to the Alpaca Mountains, yeah. We're going to visit Max. And we're going to sit on his porch and we're going to listen for those sounds, and then we're going to go hunting.
Well, yeah,
Mark likes an alien.
I do. I like the aliens, but I also like the big feet as well. So, I mean, I've got metal legs, so if needs be, I can fool them and take one off and put it out there and have them go, ooh.
Hey, you could. Hey, you could do that.
Sorry?
Yeah, you could do that, I said.
I could do that a lot, but to be honest, it would kind of ruin the hunt because all you'd hear is Jay laughing his head off in the background all the time.
Exactly. And making all kinds of bad jokes.
It would make an incredibly funny series, is all I'm saying.
Because I would get so much trouble. Because if you did that, if we were out in the woods and you took your prosthetic off and you threw it out there someplace, I'd look at you, well, okay, let's go. Huh?
I'd fall over.
I just said, let's go, Stumpy. Let's get on down the road. I can't help it. I'm going to terrible joke.
You wait till I catch up with you.
I'm going to give you a big hug. We're going to have several beers. We'll have a lot of laughs.
That sounds fun.
I think it would be incredibly fun. And I keep saying this. Believe it or not, I have actually approached a television network to see if they would fund it. So I'm waiting, and I will nag and continue with this because I'm going to get to America somehow.
David G. in the chat room said to read John Keel's book. Which book? Has he got more than one? Who's John Keel?
Let's have a quick Google on John Keel.
Well, and to be honest, I'll get the Cliff Notes because I'm not a big reader. I've got like 8 books in my entire collection. I've read 3 pages out of one of them.
Oh, he does Mothman Prophecies.
Yes. I thought I had heard that before.
I've read every single Discworld book. I'm a bit of a Discworld nut, and that kind of explains my psyche.
Nothing explains your psyche. You're like mine.
Oh, hello. Somebody has said, in a review, there is a tragic lack of intelligence and original thought on the part of those who research Fortean phenomenon. The books to which I refer, of course, are those of John A. Keel. Oh dear, that's not a very good. That's not a very good review, is it?
No, it's not.
That was for Mysterious Universe. I'd put that out there. That's not from me. That's Mysterious Universe who said that.
Is that a true statement, or is that just a competitive statement because they're researching the same thing?
I have no idea. Oh dear. Anyway, so guys, what are we making of it? Keeping in the theme of Mark and what he's into, there's a lot of footage out there of the alleged reptilian shape-shifting that goes on, allegedly. I'm going to use allegedly an awful lot. What does Mark make of that?
We did a show about this, and to be absolutely honest, I know it's watershed and everything. I call complete bullshit because they also. Have you noticed that it's reptilian? All the rich, famous people, reptilian eyes going clicky clacky, and they're all Illuminati. And these Illuminati are supposed to be our alien overlords. You know?
I do kind of wonder if you really slowed down footage of one of us, yeah, whether or not it would look like we were shape-shifting, but we're not. But it would make me wonder if it's just because the camera angles are slowed down so dramatically, whether or not that is what is causing that effect rather than proof of shape-shifting.
There's also the other theory about, myself disabled. I don't think I'm disabled at all. I mean, Christ, you know me, and you've seen me around your race.
Oh, God, no, you don't. You're more able-bodied than me.
Well, yeah, I'm big covenant tattoos, do kickboxing, got one hand, one leg. If I kick too hard, my leg flies off, duck. But I go back to my point. See, I told you the TV series would be fabulous. No,
so we're going to call it S&M Paranormal?
Right.
Asinine Paranormal.
David Icke and a few
Us and them.
Crossing the pond, paranormal.
Oh, us and them, sorry. I thought you said asinine. That's a different show completely.
See,
right.
Dave G says it calls by pixelation of low res videos.
Yeah,
What
exactly. It's not proof of like shape shifting or reptilian aliens at all, in my point of view. Do you know what I mean? But it is funny to watch them. It is quite funny to watch them. Now, okay, so Mark, let's get onto the paranormal, because that's another huge area of topic for you. You are a paranormal investigator as well as being interested in all this other weird and wacky stuff. What is the biggest experience you've had in the paranormal?
It's not going to be any of the investigations we've ever been on, because all the people out there listening, myself and Kerry, we're in the same team. That's probably why it's such a mental team. But we've done lots of investigations together. I suppose the most thing is going to be after my father passed away. Do you remember I told you a story about my two girls when they were little, what they said to me?
No, you tell everybody.
Long story short, when my father passed away, I had to go in and close his eyes. Now, the nurses had already changed his clothes and put him into certain clothes. Now, my mum didn't go in because she wouldn't. She couldn't do it. I went in there, closed his eyes, said goodbye, pulled my eyes out. 2 days later, my kids, when they were, how old were you? You were about 5, weren't you? I think my youngest was about 5 and my eldest was 6. There's only a year difference. It was about night and telly. They both turned around to me and said, and I quote, "Oh, we saw Grandad today." And I was just like, "Oh yeah, all right." And then, yeah. He said he's always going to be with us. He'll keep popping in to see how we're doing, because now he knows how to do it. He can pop in and out. And I was like, "Yeah, right." And then they told me what he was wearing when they saw him. Now, I hadn't told anybody what he was wearing. The nurses hadn't told anybody what he was wearing, and my mum didn't know what he was wearing. So how on earth did those two girls know when nobody told them, and they were too young to go to hospital?
Wow.
See, that kind of confirms my theory that we're not bound to one side or the other, that we have the free will to come back and forth and visit.
One of my personal things is when you pass over, you can zoom in on your family that's still on this side, and that's why it's always family members that come back, because you've got that link. I don't know whether it's a psychic link or what, but my personal theory is you can just go, boom, zoom in on them, open some sort of door or whatever it is, and go, hey, scare the crap out of somebody, step out again, you know?
That would be what Jay would do all the time.
Yeah, we know this.
Oh my God, you poor woman.
Oh, I tell people all the time. I tell people all the time, if there's a way to stay, that's one of the reasons I paranormal investigate, is I want to find out if there's a way to stay on this side and stay on this planet, but be free to move about. Because if there is, the practical jokes for eternity will never cease. I will be messing with anything and everything and everyone, and poor people going through their puberty stages. I'll be knocking on their doors and scaring the hell out of them, and yeah, it'd be great.
Even up until now, I think even up till now, you still hear. Do you see him much? Oh, okay. They still see him. And he still talks to them. I know my eldest daughter, she's lost the ability to hear him as she's got older. But my Taylor has actually got some sort of latent ability. Kerry knows about that, and she can sense things and is a bit sensitive. And she still hears him, talks to him. It sounds really weird. There was one time we were in a car and we could smell his tobacco, because he used to have special tobacco made. That sounded terrible. I mean special tobacco as in hand rolling tobacco, not weed. And it had a particular smell to it. And we were driving down the road in the car one day. We smelled that smell, looked on the back seat, and there was an outline on the rear seat. And it was like, oh my God, you know? So, yeah. I do think that when you go, that is not the end of it. It's just the beginning. I don't know if it's like the old stories about the ancients ascending, whether that's anything to do with it. I'm not necessarily sure about reincarnation into animals and things like that, because that would, if you're from the deep south and you got reincarnated into an animal, lots of people would be goats and sheep. But I don't.
Well, we had that discussion that one night that when, like on reincarnation, that what if when you're being born, when you die, you see the light at the end of the tunnel? What if when you see that light, it's actually you coming out of the next womb, and that light is actually like that little flashy thing on Men in Black. It erases the memory from your previous life, and you're born right back in again, just into a new body, and continually going through like that until you do something right or get rewarded or whatever.
Learn your lessons that you're supposed to learn.
I'm never gonna learn my lessons.
You and me both.
I'm having too much fun screwing them up and I'm staying.
Exactly. My thing with that is with reincarnation is why don't you remember? You have to keep coming back to learn it. If you can't remember, how are you going to know what cock up you did last time to make sure you don't do it again?
No, but it's a soul thing. It's not a memory thing. If your mind was filled with all your past lives, you'd be absolutely unable to function.
You'd be insane.
So I'd be me.
No, yeah.
Everything.
Particularly if you've got. Sorry, Teresa.
No, go right ahead.
Particularly if you've got different time spans. You know what I mean? Like you've got Victorian, you've got like Tudor, you've got. Do you know what I mean? If that is what it is, can you imagine having like all those memories from all those lifetimes stuck in your brain? You literally wouldn't be able to function, which is why it resets each time.
Right. And all that knowledge, but nobody would believe you.
No, how could they not believe you if we were all doing the same damn thing?
Not everybody would have it.
That's not what I'm saying. How would they believe that you don't have this knowledge? If everybody's coming back and retaining their memories from the previous life, then they would know their own knowledge from the previous life. So why would they not believe you that you have this knowledge? It don't mean they're going to listen to you, just like they don't now. People have choices. That's the wonderful thing about life. You can tell me the best advice in the world. I get the choice whether I believe it or not. Just like whether I want to believe in aliens, cryptids, or ghosts, ghouls, goblins, whatever. That's the choice.
Look, if everyone remembered everything from their past lives, we would all be Cleopatra in a past life.
Well, everybody says it is going to do a past life regression. I ain't seen one yet that everybody did come back famous. I wasn't in there for yours.
No, when I was past life regressed, I was a soldier in the World War One.
Okay, you and Teresa are the only two that ever said you were. Everybody else said is like, oh, there was 20 people that come back as Cleopatra in the room and 30 Mark Anthony's. I'm like, damn, she's at War Out War One. Oh,
well, yeah, I came back I was a pioneer woman,
cool.
Like with the Saratoga wagons and all of that, and it was just. I remember coming out of it, and I was telling Jay, what's her name?
Tiffany Johnson.
Tiffany Johnson, the one that did it. I didn't want to tell everybody what mine was because everybody was like, oh, I was John Lennon or I was Cleopatra or I was, all these famous people. And
yeah.
Like, oh my God, mine was horrible, horrible. And I said, no, that's okay. I'll just pass. And she pulled me off off to the side afterwards. And she's like, I really want to know. And I told her, I said, it was awful. I said, everybody else got all this neat stuff, and I didn't. She goes, you're the only one that got a true past life regression.
I just think that's right, because, I just remember whilst going through that experience, the fear. I just remember the smell of the mud and being filthy. I'd lost my helmet somewhere, and I was just waiting for that shot, and at that point, I was waiting for a shot. And literally at that moment, I was brought out of my past life regression. And I was sobbing. I was so grateful to have come out of it at that point because I didn't want to relive that moment, if that makes sense. And it was horrible. It was only a short, flash clip of that moment. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't have told you what my name was or anything like that. I think if they'd gone more into it, possibly. But at that point, that was incredible experience. That particular it was like a meditation-y type sound bathy thing that was going on, and I was in a right old state afterwards because I was thinking, God, if that's what my body, no wonder I'm so fearful at times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hold myself back a lot.
Isn't it weird how much you remember from just that brief time that you do that?
Oh gosh, yeah, it was so vivid, so vivid.
Yeah.
Well, I know we got about 3 minutes left, so we're going to start wrapping this up.
It wasn't a lucid dream either, because some people said, "Oh, it's just a lucid dream." No. I've had lucid dreams before, and when you lucid dream, you dream walk. It's a different thing.
You have lurid dreams, not lucid dreams. We know you.
That's a different story.
We don't want to talk about my dreams.
That's a whole different story.
We do have about 3 minutes left, so Mark, I want you to talk about your shows when you're on and what you're on and all that stuff, please, and how if people want to get a hold of you to get on a show with you and Kerry, please plug that, would you?
Yeah, no worries. We do the Dark Mirror show every Friday, myself and Kerry, and hopefully I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9 p.m. over here.
It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah.
But I'm hoping to do a show one day with my daughter.
Sorry, you're right.
I was right, was I?
Sorry, you was right.
You guys come on at 4 o'clock over here. I listen to you.
Got bloody clue.
It's 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 9 p.m. their time.
If anybody would like to come onto our show, if you go onto Twitter and look up Dark Nights, that is myself and Kerry and a couple of other people. That is our paranormal site. Sorry?
I hate Twitter. Can they find you on Instagram or Facebook?
I'm on Facebook myself, but the Dark Nights one isn't. But if you want to find me on there, I'm Mark Manley on Facebook, and I think my photograph is me in my biker get-up with me cut off on. So yeah, you can find me.
And you can also find him on Parasearch radio page.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where else can I find Parasearch?
On Spreaker, which is the broadcasting app we use, or YouTube as well.
There you go. And now you can also find him on Paramania.
And you can find us on Paramania too. You can get in contact with us through here. So that's all good. Anyway, gosh, that went quick, didn't it?
Like pulling teeth to get you guys to promote yourselves. Damn.
I know. We're really bad at that, aren't we?
No shit. Dr. Dave, you need to fire Kerry. I mean, me.
Hell no. Wow. You're my only source of entertainment. I'm not firing anyone.
We got less than 45 seconds. Thank you all for listening tonight. If you have any questions and stuff, you want to be a part of the Paranormal Roundtable, get a hold of one of us. We will definitely have you involved. Thank you all for being here. Your turn to say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And you can now appreciate what I go through every Friday.
I truly do.
I'm calling in tomorrow.
Thank you for letting me come on. I'd like to come back again. And Kerry, aliens! Bye-bye.
Oh, God. Good night, everybody.
Toodles.
Good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.